What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special release from TOX. It's their latest release called the TOX4, running on the Rockchip RK3528 chipset. Now, TOX boxes have the same features as UGOOS models with all the bells and whistles and nice unique features. So it's very interesting to see how they apply it to this Rockchip RK3528 chipset. To find out more, my full review is up next. Stay tuned. So I'm back, and let's take a look at what's inside the box. First, you have the new TOX4 model itself. You get one infrared remote, and I'm a bit disappointed that they did not include a wireless Bluetooth model. You get one HDMI cable, a 5 volts 2 amps DC power adapter, and a user manual. So the design of this model has not changed from its previous ones. It has a black plastic shell with ventilation holes both at the top and below for maximum ventilation. For connecting ports, it has one HDMI, one Ethernet LAN, and its 5 volts 2 amps USB Type-C power delivery port to its rear. To the side, it has one USB 3.0, another 2.0, and a micro SD card reader. At the front, it has an LED display and a power light, and to its base has 4 anti-skid rubber feet, a reset button with lots of ventilation holes. So its boot up feature is simple TOX animation. Then you are presented with the option of two launchers, a TOX launcher which is designed to be navigated with a direction pad, and it's ideal for the included IR remote. And if you prefer to navigate with a wireless air mouse, PC mouse, or mini touchpad keyboard, the quick step launcher will be your likely option, as it provides mobile-like features such as long-click menu pop-ups, drag and drop shortcuts, custom wallpapers, split-screen feature, etc. Even though both launchers are different, you have access to a navigation bar, a new app dock, and a full status bar with system controls. The navigation bar recent apps feature works perfectly, and it also features split screen. The app dock can hold a maximum of 4 shortcuts by simply dragging and dropping, and the entire navigation bar automatically hides when playing a video or app that requires full screen. You also have the option to change your wallpaper, or you can use a live wallpaper. For basic system information under its About section, it shows here that its operating system is Android 13 and its firmware was compiled using the Android TV OS SDK. However, if you navigate to the Google Play Store, you will see that it's the mobile version. So this firmware is what I term a hybrid firmware. This is its current firmware build information, and you have access to developer options. Once I connected to my internet, I was prompted with my very first firmware update. In similar fashion to UGOOS models, TOX models receive regular firmware updates. Once completed and the system rebooted, I was prompted with yet again another update. What makes TOX boxes stand out from the rest is their unique firmware features. There are lots of people who believe Android boxes are only for watching movies, but what they do not know is that you can do so much more with the box once it has the right features. So I'll just take a moment to highlight these unique features before I move on to its live demonstrations to show you why TOX, in my opinion, is one of the best in the industry, only second to UGOOS. For display, you have 4K 60Hz resolution. It also features HDR. However, the auto adaptive HDR feature is enabled by default, and to disable HDR if your TV does not support it, there is an option under format selection that I will show you in just a moment. You have up to 12-bit color mode for those who have high-end TVs. There is a feature called frame buffer size. I recommend you set it to 1080p. It will increase the sharpness and detail of your display. However, if you set it to 2160p, it will be too high, and even though the display will look even better, it will start to throttle, resulting in poor mouse cursor and direction pad navigation. If you have a vertical display or monitor rotated to vertical portrait mode, which is very popular these days for watching TikTok, Instagrams, Reels, and YouTube Shorts, you can change the box's orientation to fixed vertical portrait mode, reverse portrait, and reverse landscape. You can also set the orientation policy from fixed orientation to freeform orientation to change automatically based on the requirement of the app. Someone once asked, what is the purpose of screen rotation? Well, now you know, just another one of the handy ways you can apply an Android box. You can change the size of the text on the launcher. This can come in handy if your display is small or at a distance off from where it's being viewed. You can increase the size of the text, making it easier to read. A feature easily overlooked but used by many is auto frame rate switching when playing videos that have different frame rates. This ensures that the videos play seamlessly without you having to manually adjust each time you play a different video type or format. Under Video Format Selection, here you can enable or disable HDR or HLG depending on what features your TV have. Also, it shows below here that the box does not support Dolby Vision or HDR10+. Videos with these two missing formats may play, but the audio will not process. Under Input and Devices is where you will find your HDMI CC options. It has mouse pointer options, which can control the right-click mouse function as the back function, and you can also enable left-click to function as a touchscreen function. You have menu button options that apply special functions to the menu button on the IR remote, as well as any connected wireless air mouse. It has a button mapper application to map buttons on the remote to special functions. You can change the mode of its USB ports, which comes in extremely handy for networking with home servers and other devices to read and transfer files. Under Panels and Interface, you can enable or disable the navigation bar and status bar, and you can also change the style of the navigation bar from the new style with the app dock to the classic style with the standard navigation bar. You have advanced hardware monitor options. These are for hardware enthusiasts who would like to monitor everything about the box, from CPU temperature to CPU speed, CPU usage, memory usage, CPU load, and many other parameters. It allows you to feature these monitors in the status bar, as well as on a draggable semi-transparent window that appears as an overlay while gaming or watching video content. If you install any alternative launcher, you can easily switch between them under the Home Screen tab. Under Animations, you can speed up the interface by changing the speed of the animation transition scales. Under Power, you have options to control the LED power light, the LED screen, screensaver option, and other power key definition options. Under Storage, you can format external storage to shared internal storage, and it's where you will find your Samba server and client server features. There are many who frown on root access on their Android devices, so it comes not rooted out of the box. However, there are advanced users who would like to have root access to their core file system. For this, it comes with the option to enable the Magisk application. Once installed and restarted, you will gain root access. Under Additional Settings, it grants you access to the default system settings outside of the Android user interface. And for surround sound audio, please note, if you connect the box to a TV that does not support surround sound audio, when you open the advanced audio section under supported formats, it will show that all surround sound audio decoders are not supported. However, If you connect it to a TV, a soundbar system, or AV receiver that supports surround sound audio and restart the box and return to the advanced sound settings, you will now see that all surround sound audio formats are supported. So please take note of that. So that's quite the list. And it's the same unique features you get with Yugo's boxes because it's actually manufactured in the same factory. So let's look at its system and hardware information. So here in ADA64, it shows that the manufacturer is Rockchip. It comes with 4GB of DDR3 RAM and 32GB of eMMC internal storage with Bluetooth 5.0. Its CPU is the Rockchip RK3528, which is a quad-core Cortex-A53 processor clocked at 2.0 GHz, and get this, is configured in 64-bit mode, which means that it supports 64-bit apps and games. I have openly criticized this CPU for poor performance and outdated GPU, but here I'm seeing that TOX is pushing the boundaries of this chipset with 64-bit architecture and high CPU clock speeds. So hold your breath and let's see how it performs for the rest of this video, but so far it's looking pretty impressive. For display, this is where I have an issue. It's powered by the Mali 450 with OpenGL ES 2.0. This is an outdated GPU. However, seeing that TOX is working some magic with this chipset, let's see how it performs in the gaming segment. Its network adapter provides dual-band Wi-Fi and it's an 802.11 AC adapter, but currently it's connected to my Wi-Fi 6AX router without issues. Its Android version is Android 13 Tiramisu and it's not rooted. Under devices, it's more concerning as it shows that it does not have Vulkan support. Surprisingly, its idle operating temperature is around 48 degrees Celsius, and we will monitor during the gaming segment to see how high it increases. And I can already tell you that if you intend on gaming on this box, it will require an active cooling fan. And for video and audio decoders, we start to see some more caveats, where it only has 4K HDR decoders listed. There is no AV1 decoder or Dolby Vision decoders. There are also no surround sound audio decoders. However, not to worry, because I have some good news. Even though it does not have surround sound audio decoders listed, it does support all surround sound audio formats at the software level, as I will show you later in the video. But it does not have the AV1 decoder. And that's its system and hardware information. So now that I've gotten all of the hardware stuff out of the way, let's now look at its entertainment features. And first off, it's not Google certified, as it only has Google Widevine Level 3 with no HDCP protection. All this simply means is that it cannot stream subscription services such as Netflix, Disney+, Prime Video, Max and others in HD or 4K because it does not have the required security level from Google, and its HDMI signal is not encrypted to protect its outgoing video signal from piracy. As mentioned in the features segment, out of the box, its firmware is not rooted, as shown here by the Root Checker app. If you need root access, go to the settings area under the super user section and enable the Magisk option. Please take note of the warning. It will require you to restart. Once rebooted, you can open the app section and update the Magisk app to the latest version. Once that is done, you can check with Root Checker again and it will show that the box is now rooted. Playing YouTube videos at 4K 2160p at 60Hz is not an issue for this box. However, due to its UI resolution scale, it's cropped into a 1080p frame as shown here under the Stats for Nerds information. In Yugo's boxes, there is an option to release the frame to its full 4K resolution, which results in the UI displaying very tiny icons and text. That feature is not available on this firmware. For mobile screen mirroring, unfortunately, this box does not come with the official version of Miracast. As an alternative, it comes with the AirScreen app, and this app is also available on the Google Play Store. With the AirScreen app, you can mirror your mobile phone using a basic screencasting application, or you can use the Google Home app. The quality is not in HD, but it is usable. For customizing your launcher, besides the two launchers included with the firmware, you can install any alternative launcher and they are compatible with this firmware. You can also use live wallpapers. So now for some 4K video playback. In this test, we are looking for HDR10 and HLG. I don't expect it to play AV1 or Dolby Vision as there are no decoders. So this video is encoded with HDR10 and it plays without issues. The AV1 video, if you try to play it, nothing happens. This is a Dolby Vision video, but it plays as HLG. Official Dolby Vision videos with Dolby Atmos, nothing happens. This is an HDR10 Plus video and it plays with no audio. And here is an official HLG encoded video and it triggers the feature and plays smoothly without issues. Next, you have its surround sound audio capabilities. Remember, the surround sound audio feature only activates when it's connected to a TV that supports Dolby Atmos and DTS audio, a soundbar or AV receiver. Also, it's recommended that you use the VLC player with audio pass-through enabled in the settings area. If you use the MX player, you will not get the various surround formats. So this is Dolby Atmos.
To moving around you. 10-point accuracy.
Next, Dolby Digital Plus.
Whether the soundscape sits the mood of the scene.
It produces DTS HD master audio. You get Dolby Surround. It can play Dolby TrueHD.
Next, we have the center channel. Over here is the right channel.
And DTS-X. So even though there are no surround sound audio decoders listed, it can indeed play all surround sound audio formats. For 3D gaming, it's bittersweet because yes, the box is configured in 64-bit mode and its CPU is clocked at 2.0 GHz, but it does not have Vulkan support, and the Mali 450 only supports up to OpenGLES version 2.0, which restricts it from lots of modern high graphics games on the Play Store, where a lot of apps are citing that it's not compatible with the box. Even games that do manage to install, you have to run them on the lowest graphics settings to avoid throttling. During gaming, its temperature maintains around 68 degrees without a cooling fan, which is pretty good, but the gaming is where this box is at its weakest. Now for some benchmarks and where it ranks on my chart. First, the speeds of its RAM and internal storage. Surprisingly, it has a RAM copy speed of 4,932 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 179 megabytes per second and a write speed of 86 megabytes per second. The average RAM copy speed for boxes is around 3,600. Next, in testing the speed of its dual Wi-Fi bands and its Ethernet LAN port on my 315 megabits per second internet speed, its 5 GHz band and its LAN port achieved the maximum speed of my network. It also indicates that its LAN port is a gigabit LAN port. Its 2.4 GHz band, on the other hand, achieved around 112 megabits per second, which in my opinion is still very good for the 2.4 GHz band. When benchmarking its CPU's single-core and multi-core performance, the Geekbench 5 CPU benchmark registered a score of 149 single-core and 451 multi-core. When I attempted to run the 3DMark graphics benchmark, it didn't qualify for any of the benchmark tests, as all these tests require OpenGL version 3.0 and the box only has 2.0 support. And in the Antutu benchmark version 8, because that's the only version I can get to complete, it scored 72,728. That's the last of the benchmarks. Let's now see where it places on my chart. So the scores are in, and the TOX4 at the time of making this video ranks at position 98 based on its Antutu benchmark score, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 star rating, which was determined by the lack of Vulkan support and the outdated Mali 450 GPU. To view and compare boxes on this chart, I placed a link in the description below this video. In summary, I'm impressed with the way they managed to implement all these premium unique firmware features on this chipset, and it's the best I've seen, squeezing every ounce of power it can provide. But in doing so, they could not escape the fact that its GPU is weak and outdated, and it showed during the 3D gaming demonstration and in its benchmarks. However, if you are not interested in gaming, then for $60, it's an excellent Android box to purchase. You get 4K HDR display, the box is not slow at all, you get all unique firmware features seen in UGOOS models, you got root access, Android mobile launcher features, it's configured in 64-bit mode and much more. To top it off, they should have included a Bluetooth Air Mouse remote. So there you have it. This was my review of the latest TOX4 Android TV box. If you are interested, you can get it on Amazon and on AliExpress, depending on which region you live. See the links in the description to check it out. If you wanted a model featured in this video at a reduced price, contact me directly at tvboxstop@gmail.com and I'll be happy to hook you up. Thanks for watching. As usual, give this video the thumbs up to support the channel. If you would like to receive notifications about open box deals, new product video releases, or surprise giveaways, then click the subscribe button and ring the notifications bell to ensure that you are notified as soon as they are released. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Stay connected and see you in the next one.